Most pain in life isn't caused by bad luck. It's caused by unlearned lessons. The same betrayal, the same disappointment, the same emotional wounds, just wearing different faces. Stoicism teaches a brutal truth most people avoid. Life repeats lessons until you learn them. Not to punish you, but to shape you. Every pattern you refuse to confront becomes a cycle you're trapped inside. This video isn't about motivation. It's about liberation through awareness. Once you truly learn these Stoic life lessons about attachment, ego, expectations, and control, you stop chasing what drains you, stop reacting to what breaks you, and stop bleeding in the same places. Learn them once, and life stops testing you the same way. Let's begin. Number 1. What you don't control will eventually control you. Most recurring pain comes from trying to command what was never yours to command. People's feelings, outcomes, timing, or fate itself. Stoicism begins with a sharp boundary. Control what is yours, release what is not. Your thoughts, judgments, actions, and values are within your power. Everything else is external and therefore unstable. When you ignore this rule, life punishes you with frustration. You cling to people who change, expect loyalty from those who haven't earned it, and demand certainty from a chaotic world. The pain repeats because the error repeats. Stoics like Epictetus warned that suffering is not caused by events, but by the opinions we attach to them. Once you truly internalize this lesson, emotional freedom begins. You stop begging reality to behave differently. You adapt instead. You act wisely, but you detach from the outcome. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you resilient. You still care, but you no longer collapse when things go wrong. The moment you stop wrestling with the uncontrollable, life stops dragging you. You conserve energy. You gain clarity. And most importantly, you stop reliving the same disappointment disguised as hope. Master this lesson once, and you will never feel powerless in the same way again. Number 2. Your expectations are the blueprint of your disappointment. Every repeated heartbreak follows an expectation that was never questioned. You expected honesty from someone who showed signs of deception. You expected gratitude where entitlement lived. You expected permanence in a temporary world. Stoicism teaches that expectations are silent contracts reality never signed. Marcus Aurelius advised to meet each day prepared for selfishness, ignorance, and ingratitude, not out of pessimism, but realism. When you expect less from others and more from yourself, you stop feeling betrayed by predictable human behavior. Pain fades when illusion fades. This lesson doesn't mean lowering standards. It means removing fantasy. You still value integrity, loyalty, and effort, but you stop assuming everyone shares your values. You observe before you trust. You accept people as they are, not as you wish them to be. Once expectations are disciplined, emotions stabilize. You respond instead of react. You're no longer shocked by what you should have foreseen. Life becomes calmer, not because people improve, but because your perception sharpens. Learn this lesson fully, and disappointment loses its grip. You no longer feel wounded by unmet expectations. You feel informed, and informed people don't repeat the same mistakes. Number 3. Attachment is the root of repeated suffering. Stoicism doesn't forbid love. It warns against dependence. The pain you keep reliving often comes from attaching your identity, happiness, or self-worth to something external. A person, a role, validation, or status. When that external thing shifts or disappears, so do you. The Stoics understood impermanence deeply. Everything borrowed from the world can be taken back without warning. When you forget this, loss feels like injustice. When you remember it, loss feels like nature. Detachment is not emotional numbness. It's emotional discipline. You still appreciate deeply, but you don't cling desperately. You enjoy without possession. You love without losing yourself. Once this lesson is learned, fear dissolves. You stop fearing abandonment because you are no longer abandoning yourself. You stop chasing people who pull away because your peace isn't tied to their presence. Life stops repeating painful separations when you stop building your identity on what can leave. Freedom begins when attachment ends. Number 4. Your ego keeps you trapped in cycles. The ego hates accountability. It would rather repeat pain than admit fault. Many people relive the same failures because their ego keeps rewriting the story to protect self-image. Stoicism is ruthless here. Own your role in every outcome. Marcus Aurelius warned that blaming others is a sign of ignorance. When you stop asking, "Why does this keep happening to me?" and start asking, "What pattern am I repeating?" everything changes. Ego seeks validation. Wisdom seeks truth. Until ego is humbled, lessons remain unlearned. Stoicism teaches you to trade pride for clarity. You study your reactions. You examine your choices. You correct your course. Once ego steps aside, growth accelerates. You stop romanticizing your wounds and start healing them. You no longer need to be right. You need to be free. Learn this lesson and cycles break. Not because life changes, but because you do. Number 5. Emotional reactivity is self-sabotage. Every time you react emotionally, you hand control to the moment. Stoicism trains you to pause, observe, and respond with reason. Repeated pain often traces back to repeated reactions: anger, desperation, fear, or impulsive decisions. Seneca warned that anger is temporary madness. When emotions drive action, consequences follow, and patterns repeat. Stoicism teaches emotional mastery, not suppression. You feel fully, but you don't obey blindly. Once you learn to pause before reacting, you rewrite your future. Arguments lose power. Manipulation fails. Triggers weaken. You gain composure. This lesson alone can end years of unnecessary suffering. When emotions stop steering your life, chaos loses influence. Number 6. You teach people. How to treat you. Stoicism emphasizes self-respect through boundaries. Repeated disrespect is often tolerated, not forced. When you fail to correct behavior, you silently approve it. Once you learn that what you allow continues, patterns break. You stop over-explaining. You stop proving worth. You enforce standards through action, not words. Life improves when your boundaries do. Number 7. Avoidance delays growth and multiplies. Pain avoided is pain postponed. Stoicism teaches voluntary discomfort to strengthen the mind. When you face discomfort early, it shrinks. When you avoid it, it grows. Patterns repeat because lessons are dodged. Once you confront what you fear, repetition ends. Number 8. Acceptance ends the war within. The final Stoic lesson: accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance creates peace. When acceptance becomes your foundation, life stops testing the same wounds. The lesson is learned. The cycle ends. Pain only repeats when the lesson is resisted. Life isn't cruel. It's precise. Every loss, every betrayal, every disappointment you faced was not random. It was a mirror. And once you finally see yourself clearly, the mirror disappears. Stoicism doesn't promise comfort. It promises clarity, and clarity ends cycles. When you master your expectations, detach from what you don't control, and discipline your reactions, life stops testing you the same way because you've already passed. Learn the lesson once, and the pain never needs to return.